Alright, everybody wants me to do Occult Crescent, so we're doing Occult Crescent. One last hurrah. Yo, Ronald, aren't you just the man I was after, as it happens? Old Tenantman tasked me with finding you. Says he's got a proposition for you. Wait right there, I'll go fetch him. Ooh, boy. I've heard a lot of good things about, Occult Crescent, so... Apologies for collaring you like this, but I was hoping we could parlay before you took leave of Toyola. I'm not leaving. I'll cut right to the chase. I want you on board for me final expedition. Oh. Before I go into the particulars, allow me to spit a quick yarn. Take a quick. Got favor bill. These days, any Erosian sailor worth their salt bound for Toyola, will take the established route and skirt the southern Indigo Deep. But when maps of the realms were nothing but blank parchment, has Veil brand. All we have was the allure of the horizon to guide us. Most of me follow explorers. Weighed anchor and cut a course due west, heading straight for adventure. Last, most were lost to the waves. Me crew and I reached Tyrol on account of us ranging northward and avoiding the same treacherous waters that claimed them. Alright. That stretch of the deep came to be known as Shade's Triangle. I had a notion to solve its mysteries on behalf of my fallen comrades, but after arriving on these shores, it was the land, not the sea, that promised adventures anew. Once I'd settled here and disbanded the expedition, I never did get the opportunity. But when I crossed paths with a certain realm-renowned adventurer and began to wonder, he told me that, with your help, I'd finally shed light on the mystery of those accursed waters. So how about it? Will you join this old explorer on one final jaunt? You had me a mystery. What are your duties at the palace? Not to worry, I propose all this with the full backing of the Dawn servants. You'd be told even before Guru Jaja asked me to watch over Kalana and Wak Lamont. I feared I'd never sail again. Anyway, I sensed the pair were wise to me worrying, so I laid it all bare. If you say the mysteries of Shade Triangle has haunted you since? The region of which you speak is an impediment to trade with foreign nations. Any effort to unravel its secrets would ultimately benefit Toyola. Sounds like it might be the last chance you get, especially if you're hoping to get Ronald involved. Besides, Papa would turn in his grave if we barred his old friend for one last voyage. I'd say follow your heart, Tangwa. I'm sure you'd be wanting more details, but I'd like to set sail sooner rather than later. Let's reconvene once we put a few miles between us and the harbor. The ship is ready and waiting. Had her sent over from Limsa especially. When we're ready, speak with over in the pier. Ronald, I presume, and told me all about you. Name's Obang. Bangum, navigator by trade. They say Shade's Triangle is wrecked with storms year-round, but a closer look at the charts tell you that ain't strictly true. For a brief season, the sky is clear and the sea's calm. That's why the old explorer is eager to weigh anchor. What's the matter? Don't tell me you're clambering onto this little rowboat. Haha. We're not rowing all the way to Shade's Triangle. Our vessel's waiting out beyond the shallows. Go ahead and prepare. Just say the word. Ready to plot course for waters unknown? Let's go! Don't know whether to respect your mettle or pressure your sanity, but welcome aboard Shade's Triangle. Here we come. We're going on a boat! Plain sailing thus far. It'd be time to talk about our destination. Shade's Triangle is a churning mess of storm. Every time a vessel goes missing in the region, most blame the treacherous conditions. I hear that there are records of the last ship seeking to chart those waters, and the message they relayed to their escort is passing strange. Conditions fair, crescent-shaped isle sighted in vicinity. Potential safe haven during storms, attempting to make landfall. We never made it back to port, despite the calm seas. Folks taken to calling the island the Occult Crescent ever since. They say it's not but a shifting mirage that claims the lives of all who sight it. Everyone on board knows the risk involved on a voyage like this, but there ain't nothing like the thrill of the unknown to trump good sense. A whiff of mystery and the promise of new discoveries. Hard to resist, am I right in thinking the same applies to you, adventurer? Anyhow, why don't you get acquainted with the rest of the crew? I'll be here checking the charts. Once you got the measure of the folks risking their hides along with you, come and find me. This ain't me first trip to these waters. I've sailed close to Shade's Triangle to survey the weather many a time. Only on the clearest days when the sea's flat as glass do you get a glimpse of the isle. It looks unremarkable from a distance, but that's exactly what the poor bastard who went missing must have thought. Never did pluck up the courage to take a closer peek, curious as I was. But when I heard Cameron was leading an expedition in the heart of the triangle, I signed right up. Don't get me wrong, I still got my reservations, but when I think of whatever's waiting for us in those waters, it's the excitement that wins out. Oh boy. My grandfather once sailed with Cameron. He was right there with him when they first made landfall on Thrall. But it wasn't Thrall they were aiming for. They left the Rosra westward, bound for Angashi. They didn't count on a great big continent laying between them and their destination. Once they were ashore, they soon forgot all about the Far East. Eventually, my grandfather settled, and here I am, 3 generations later. By all accounts, journeying with Cameron is life-changing. I mean that in the best possible sense, of course. This isn't some foolhardy treasure hunt. No. Solving the owl's secrets will be worth more than any glittering trinket. And if we can open up safe passage to the island, there's potential to establish a permanent landing. Just imagine the boon to foreign trade that would bring. All of which is to say, there's more at stake here than lining our pockets. There's no telling what awaits us on the island, which is why we enlisted the help of experts and artisans to supplement our crew. There's one fellow we're all wishing we'd stay clear of, though. After we left port, I caught a crazed fool trying to launch one of the lifeboats. We managed to lock him in the hole, but the vitriol said about drinking all the rum in sight. In the end, we tied him up and stuffed him in one of the barrels each grain dry. Why would you do that? It was like you had a good chat with the crew. That's the thing with seafaring. A closed-deck crew is indispensable out on the open sea. I know there's talk about mean feats and reaching to all, but in truth, I couldn't have done it without me fellow explorers. Wherever the wind might take us, I consider it my duty to get all of us all there and back in one piece. We'll be entering Shade's Triangle at any moment now. Look sharp. Land ho! Where? The land. Oh, steady. We sail straight for her. Aye, aye. Hard. What? Where's that blasted island? What the? It is go. And it's spotted off the starboard stern. What the? No, that can't be right. We were heading straight for it. What? Don't tell me we careened right past it. But this hawker. Hold on. No, it's not moving or anything. It's teleporting us from it. It won't let us near it. It's warping us away from it. The damn thing again. Shifting mirage was right on the money. If the owl itself was moving, the waves would be surging right over the bulwark. This is no natural phenomenon. Something's messing with our perception. But we can see. You deserved, you might call. Deserved or not, onward we sail. Who are you talking? A strange voice, you said. I didn't hear a thing. What in the? I've lost control of the rudder. It's like something's reeling us in. Are we floating? Couldn't be the island, could it? What is happening? How's the hull looking? No obvious damage, but the ship's stuck fast. Almost as if we dropped anchor. Perfectly docked and without a single scratch. There ain't a helmsman alive who could have managed that. I fear she'll end up like that if we try and shift her. I reckon we were brought here by some sort of arcane trickery. Trapped too, most likely. Huh. Magic's right to our destination. Quite the stroke of luck, if you ask me. Well, there's nothing for it but to get this expedition underway. That voice you heard on the ship, I'm starting to wonder whether that wasn't some kind of summons. I'm glad to have you with us regardless. As for the owl itself, I'd assumed it was uninhabited. Certainly wasn't expecting to come across this phantom village. Like as not, there's some sort of ward encompassing the island to keep us here. That said, there's a chance ethereal currents could circumvent the ward, assuming they could tap into one. Might be worth a try if a venture calls you elsewhere. Anyway, as much as I'd like to gather the crew, get stuck right in, we'd better secure the perimeter first. Oh, and I thought I'd give you a journal to jot down your findings along the way. Figure there's more than a few folks out there who'd appreciate a record of your exploits here. Fill those pages and give them something to sink their teeth into. A little. If you wish to return to interact with the ethereal current. Good. The corresponding current at High Tide Harbor. Facilitates travel back to... Okay. The Occult record unlocked. Collection expanded Occult record. New entries, which will be added to the record as you explore. Okay. The Phantom Village. Ah, not a single soul about. No use pondering, though. We better take a look around while Fangum stands guard. As long as the ship's safe, so are all the provisions on board. And that means one less worry while we're getting our bearings. Let me know if you find anything of interest. A faintly glowing stone. Likely carved by scaled hands. This ether-infused stone excludes a faint glow. Whether the stone emits light naturally or if some internal mechanism causing the illumination. Art. Was choking the building and overall state of the case suggests it's been abandoned for some time. That's the wishes of the elements. Hmm. Two shipwrecks are visible in the eerie still bay. No doubt, once crewed by a brave soldier seeking the inner reaches of Shade Triangle. Judging from their rating, the vessels must have sunk while attempting to leave the island. There was no telling whether the souls on board were also lost to the waves. Well, investigating area working barriers. Findings. A survey point. Okay. Marine landfall. Perks upon the eastern tip. Um, this compact sediment is definitely silent, save for the judge's passive fountain. Though its stone structures are weathered and overgrown, the orderly state of the town implies a degree of active preservation. Unknown hand. In the harbor, born on wrecks of outbound ships, testament to the fearsome reputation Shade Triangle commands. Yep, no. Can't use mount here. Moment. I'm guessing you're no closer to solving the Isle's mysteries either. Look at these structures. I'd say the sediment's ancient. The original inhabitants may be long gone. I was half hoping to find a few survivors from the wrecks at very least. Anyway, this building in particular took me under. I managed to force the lock. I don't want you to think I make a habit of breaking locks in general skullduggery. I have a lax other than when strictly necessary, of course. Let's take a look inside, shall we? Sometimes you have to break the locks. It's fine to break locks in this area. Sarcophagus. A sarcophagus, you reckon? Well, I wouldn't get too close if I were you. It's arcane trickery afoot. These candles aren't being lit. Natural means. That's for damn sure. Since I thought experience tells me a word like this will have us jumping through hoops to dispel it. That's a trap. What do you deserved? Lame. Let me see what I can do. Sure, which is more confounding mystery. Your magic touch or this godforsaken rock we're standing on. You shouldn't have done that, though. We should not have done that. Oh, it's a Tomberry. Oh, great. What? Ah, I thought we were rushing. Ready to go. Ah. And who might you two be? Wasn't expecting to come. You take me for some benign fool? But perhaps a valid suffering. Given my current form? You stand before the archive. The very definition of erudition. Now hurry up and introduce yourselves. What? Ah, Ronald, is it? Those keen, searching eyes of yours clear you have an inquisitive mind like no other. My own, that is. I'm Kennerin, an explorer hailing from Limsum Lamensa. We're here on an expedition backed by the nation of Puyola. So, what? Puyola. I visited each of the 12 city-states and learned all to know about their peoples and cultures, but those names ring unfamiliar. To think a whole nation would elude me. Tell me, when exactly was this Toyola founded? Sabbath Austral era. I moved to the island to avoid spreading the affliction that left me, as you see, and promptly fell into a deep slumber. The memory serves such a plague swept the realm at the end of the 5th astral era. That means you've been asleep for more than 1,500 years. That would explain why I feel so well rested. That I am awake. I should very like to see what has become of the owl. It's kind of quiet out there. I clearly don't recall the memorial fountain being so begrimed with algae. Perhaps you do speak the truth. Is this strange ether I sense pervading the island? Could it be a ward of some sort? The orders. Huh. The noggin's still foggy after that eons long slumber. There was a time when I knew all kinds of things. The name of every battle, the weight of all the riches in the world, to the ounce. I was a wise old man, a gushing font of knowledge. Say, that could be a real boon for your expedition once I get up to speed. I shall join you on your endeavors. Perhaps in the course of our adventures, your memories will come flooding back. Yeah, as there's nothing in this settlement out to kill us, I think it's time we get the crew ashore and earning their keep. I'll be right back. Hopefully we can learn more about the owl from our newfound co-conspire. Archive. Unfamiliar territory. Would you care to elaborate upon what brought you here? What I saw lies in the heart of the Shades Triangle, and many a ship have gone missing in these waters. You mentioned the wrecks out in the bay. It's not unreasonable to think some of those sailors would have made it ashore. Why did no one try to wake me? The door to your chamber was tightly barred. But your barley companion was able to force the lock. I dare say younger, spunkier sailors would have even less trouble getting that door open. I'm still puzzled by the strange voice that only I can hear. You mean to imply that someone summoned you here? Clearly it wasn't me. I've been sound asleep for the last few millennia, give or take. What a tantalizing conundrum. We simply must get to the bottom of this. Is it knowledge you seek? What manner of creature is this? Fairy. A familiar, rethinks. Looks like the fairies employed by the minion scholars of Eld. Was it you who summoned her? Me, preposterous. I would have summoned something more fatuous. Curious. How rude. My name is Iris, and I certainly wasn't called forth by a wizened little wench like you. Oh. Whoa! Why do you mean wise, you little well? Honestly, who would even summon a companion so lacking in manners? I know exactly what I meant. So are lacking in wisdom. A seal has been placed upon your worldly knowledge, thus preventing its use. You can only speak of that which is rotund, which the rotund individual over here has seen and learned firsthand. So, well, that explains why I can't muster the faintest mode of magic. I tried to heal myself earlier to no avail. We was asleep when that cold stone slab really took its toll on my lower back. Enough of you and your aching bones, Iris. Where your master? Where's your... Let me try a different thing. Why were you summoned here? I don't know. Looks like someone else has had their knowledge sealed away. If I'm wise and lacking wisdom, then you're not unfamiliar. Oh, now. I'll tell you one thing. That fairy was steeped in the same ether permeating the island. As I surmised, there's a strange ward covering the island entirely. No doubt, no ships in the bay were caught in its pool. Well, wards can't just cast themselves, meaning someone's responsible for those poor souls who perished in Shade's Triangle. He thinks our focus ought to be finding out what we can about this individual. And let's not forget that strange voice you kept hearing. For all we know, it could be connected in some way. Right, let's go speak with Joffrey. Well, Jeffrey, over yonder. He ought to have a word on progress at the base camp. You'll be pleased to hear that preparations are well underway. I sent the advance party to scout ahead while the ship's being unloaded. They already found an ideal spot to stage forays into the island's southern reaches. They're setting up a camp as we speak. You're ready to head out. Just say the word. Once you're out in the field, you'll have to speak with Cameron and decide how to proceed. The support crew will be stationed here in town. Be sure to avail yourself of their services if you are in need. And if you're after a weaponsmith, word is we hired a truly remarkable craftsman for the expedition. Judging by his reputation, he'll soon have your weapons honed to deadly perfection. Oh boy. Will be set up over yonder. Bye if you're interested. That's all for me. Give me a shout when you're ready to make for an encampment. Let's get that right away. Southhorn is now accessible. You stand upon the Occult Crescent, an uncharted owl. Whether you choose to join your fellow or take on the Crescent as a series of small challenges, there are many ways to proceed. The following pages to expect from you. Read and understand well if you travel the mysteries. 100 or above. Level 100 or above. The required average item level is 690. Level will be 6 to 700. Players may change to a different job or sufficient while in the. All players are subject to a separate labeling system, of course, by their knowledge level. Participating in organizations including proposed to your knowledge akin to experience. Your knowledge level will impact the outcome of any battle. To improve your chances of survival. Enrollment on, be sure to acquire as much knowledge. Which stretches to your knowledge level. Your foes will affect damage you deal and receive. You do well to choose your remarks carefully. While exploring, we're up to 72 combatants. Jeez. The instant returns and the penalty of a lengthy recast. The return action is replaced by Occult return, which just enables instant return to the base camp without the penalty of a lengthy recast. Okay, that's good. Regardless of your progress. Nice. Alright. Alright. This song? So let's go unlock a weapon, because apparently we can do that while we're playing through this. Arcane Artistry. That's really it. Yeah, it is. That raw metal. Wouldn't be surprised if we found him floating in the sea. Uh-oh. Need of a specialty. I'm afraid we ain't up and running yet. We'd be told the weaponsmith we hired bolted before we could finish setting up shop. A master of crafts by all account. But he's been nothing but trouble since we stepped foot on the ship. Keep trying to escape, so we threw him in the hold. Our woes didn't end there, though. We drank most of the booze we brought along over the expedition. The bugger was half picked old by the time we hauled him out. Anyway, this vessel's now gone and disappeared. Oh, you speak of sounds vaguely familiar. Yeah. Either you're already acquainted with the scoundrel, or you're just home to more dangerous weaponsmiths than I thought. Needless to say, there aren't many folks willing to sail the first Shade's Triangle. While we were scratching around trying to find someone, a certain enterprising woman put us in touch. They say there ain't a finer weaponsmith alive today. But he drinks like a sailor on shore leaves, and is up to the neck in debt. He'd signed up for the expedition to settle his dues. Anyway, he can't have gotten far. It's not like there's any way off this rock. If he's half as good as they say, I reckon he'll be a boon for all your adventuring. Keep your eyes peeled if you run into a shirtless room soaked good for nothing by the name of Garot. Garot. Tell him to come see me. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, it's you again. Here we go. Yeah, what's going on here? What's going on here? Stop drinking for 2 seconds. Rum to be had in this bloody ghost town. No mention of Shade's Triangle when I signed Godsteel's contract. Talk about false bloody pretense. More fool me. Trusting now really hard. Who the hell's up? Oh, bugger me. Can I do one being job without you showing your ugly mug? Aw. It said there's never a dull moment when you team up. How about we finish the job sharpish and get off this desolate rock. You must have had a hard time coaxing him back. Not really. Jeez, for all the trouble. Right. With the smithy up and running, it's all time you started earning your keep. Listen here. You really think I'm gonna sully my hammer and tongs knocking out work any village smith with half a brain socket can handle? No, nothing less than 9 impossible feats of genius struck me fire these days. They, says the important sot who drank the whole dry, racking up more dead in the process. You're hardly in a position to dictate terms, though it does seem daft to fork over eye-watering sums of ire. Aurora's Aurora's finest weaponsmith wanting to have foreign planes of swords and shields. Any ideas, adventurer? I need a new weapon. I'm not quite. It's not. I'm sure Aurora's finest weaponsmith has his own ideas. I mean, I could just. He does, as a matter of fact. Realizing a new means of refining weapons and armor. I couldn't help notice all the ether permitting the place. I can all tap into that somehow. Of course, I'll need raw materials. Some magic warped ore from the owls should do the trick. You're out there. Our service will soon be conducting a preliminary exhibition. Is that all you need to start? Hardly. But that was where the case then you'll do the job. Magical properties can be fleeting and elusive. Without the means to properly harness the ether, there's every chance the ore will degrade in the process. So you'll require something else besides raw. And the inkling as to what that might be. Sometimes a foul beastie in the doors of death leave behind a crystallized chunk of their life essence. I used the stuff in the past, and while it ain't exactly common, I'd wager you'll find it on this bastard rock. Not that it's unique to the island mine. I'm sure you'll find it elsewhere too. Does this mysterious crystal have a name? Indeed, it does. Demi Atama. As for providing the spark our relationship Smith needed, looks like he's committed to fulfilling his contractual duties, at the very least. Say, how'd you feel about handling the fiend felon part of the gambit? While you're out acquiring Demi to Atma, I'll see how Emmanuel Garud is to being around the smithy. Reckon that's a reasonable diversion of leisure. Oh, now I see why I'm upset about this. The reason why we're so panicked and such. Yep. Because we held the memories of when we had to do this before. From fates in other regions. These regions are... Oh, okay. Yeah. So, it's literally, Realm Reborn Atma farming. Which we've had to do before, and that's why our character's like, oh god, not this again. That's hilarious. Right. Journey? Okay, it's open. Well, let me at least get the cutscene and stuff up and running before I join parties and things. Oh. Some of this stuff I have. My knowledge level. Crystal shards can be found. Attuned to them and considered to be faster. Wait, we can. Oh. Okay. Oh, surfing. What the heck is happening here? Confused. We're gonna be on. New job, old tricks. You'd be hard pressed to find a better location to stage an expedition than this. Think. We'd even find something akin to an Aephorite. With any luck, there'll be a few more dotted around the island to avail ourselves, so make sure you attune with this one before leaving camp. Speaking of leaving, our advance party scoured the area and brought back a few bits and bobs of interest. Your archive was appraising the cache, but he soon scampered off and started poking around that heap of rubble. We better see what he's up to. I don't think he's gonna bother anything. Not. Oh, we here? There you are. I've got something crystalline to show you. Okay. Just as I thought. Because you laid eyes on the crystal, I was able to tap into my wealth of learning on the topic. This sealed knowledge business is awfully frustrating, I must say. What I handed you is a soul shard from the 5th Astroyer. Contained within is a phantasmal record of arcane arts and combat disciplines pioneered by the 12 city-states of Eld. I'm sure the methods you modern combatants employ are far more refined than those of my day. Nevertheless, you might benefit from learning the old ways to wage a war. Under normal circumstances, I find myself a soul shard and fight alongside you, but I can't access what's inside. Forwarded again by the seal that miniature little scallywag spoke of. Given that you were summoned here especially, I dare say you'll have no trouble using it. However, go and try affixing it to your guard. Oh. Guess now we have access to a couple of jobs. Phantom jobs. Yay! Soul shard in your possession gives you access to 3 phantom jobs. Phantom Knight, Phantom Monk, Phantom Bard. Ooh, you get the double monk now. Selecting a phantom area use of job-specific phantom actions. Phantom actions is a phantom panel, which they may select for execution. Will be registered to a hotbar. Currently a phantom leader. Select your chosen phantom job for the window to proceed with the expedition. Speak with the expedition advisor here at the base camp, or Jeffrey, and the phantom village to learn more about the Occult Crescent. I want to punch them. For actions, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to probably. The ancient arts of war. Excellent. It would seem you've managed to interfere with the soul shard interface. There is one confident. I believe we'll only work within the confines of the shard and then towards. Nevertheless, as you accumulate more knowledge, you'll soon be able to draw on more potent techniques. What's more, I don't think that the only soul shard on the island. I'm positive you'll acquire others on your travels. But you possess the greater array of ancient techniques you will have at your fingertips. Well, I shan't keep you from your excursions any longer, though you better speak with that imposing lass over there before you depart. What imposing lass? Is she imposing? These walls have seen better days, but they are solid enough. As long as we secure the entrances, the camp will be safe while you're out roaming the island. Roaming all well and good. We need a firm plan of action if we're to make any headway. Okay? Before you leave, let's consider our approach. What's that? Okay. Creatures of the Crescent. Seems to me the more we learn about this island, the further we get from unraveling its secrets. There's a voice only you can hear. The island's wide ward, the seal on the archive's knowledge, that familiar, very familiar in her master. Mentioned that finding a settlement on such a remote island is passing strange to begin with. But before we get satisfying our curiosity, concern to address. Safety. The crew are peerless, yourself included, but I've seen negligence and lack of preparation lay low with the finest explorers. That's why I intend to thoroughly appease the threat. Apprise the threats lurking beyond these walls. As our resident freelancer extraordinaire, I want you to fell 3 different species of fiend and share your findings from each encounter. At least here will be an opportunity to test that crystal of yours. Provide me with any information you gather. The more you see here, the more we chip away at that blasted seal. Okay. Okay, so that's done.